What should have been a day full of anticipation as we do prepare for the biggest Manchester United game in years, the FA Cup final against Manchester City at Wembley. Well, it is becoming such a sad one as it has been nearly confirmed that Erik Ten Hag has been sacked. Welcome to the United Hot Spot. Here is the last dance edition of this show as we do sum up this very terrible season, a season full of so much. Now, guys, I know many of you will be celebrating the news because I know that so many of you are for Erik Ten Hag out. But honestly, at what point do you make that announcement? Especially if it has been a terrible season and you're hoping to end it on a high. You've kept concealed your decision all throughout until the eve of such an important game for you to make that announcement. Is it then to motivate the players, or are you in actual sense destroying them? What exactly should we expect from Wembley? Now, whether this is true or not, by the way, because this has come in from the Athletic, the Guardian. These are credible sources. Sky Sports was the first. So in most cases, they cannot all get it wrong, really. They're not even saying these are reports. These are inside sources. We've been doing all throughout the season, breaking things from within. Erik Ten Hag, I've been trying to verify this before I came with my breaking news, and indeed, the man must be gone. I told you already before, the body language, the facial expressions, well, the guy is going. But before we even talk about who is replacing him, because it's the same guys that have been linking us with, from Kylian McKenna to Mauricio Pochettino, Thomas Tuchel, name them. They have been the same guys, Gareth Southgate. But honestly, why make this announcement hours before the most important game for these players, for the manager, for the fans? What exactly is it? What's the motivation? What was the intention of whoever leaked this information? What are they trying to achieve? What should we expect to see from these players? How are they going to focus on the game and play and perform? How are the fans going to support? How are we going to be united as a club? How are we going to be like our name, Manchester United, in supporting us against the big one, the big dogs in Man City? I think for me, this is confusion. This is bad. It's terrible. And honestly, it's beginning to look extremely ugly on INEOS. Now, the only way INEOS will be vindicated is, again, time. Like they say, time always vindicates you. Now, I hope time vindicates them and they don't have so much of it because they say, in their own words, INEOS, that's Sir Jim Ratcliffe himself, they need 3 years to come to knock off Liverpool and Man City off their purple patch. That's what they promised us. Now, if this is how they plan to go about it, well, we're excited to wait and see. We will be here waiting. Do remember, guys, that Ineos was never the popular bidder for Manchester United. People were mostly for the Glazers going and Sheikh Jassim coming in. But as it looks now, people are already beginning to feel like Ineos are Glazer templates. Now, why? Because they're beginning to do things almost the same way, but also they don't seem to be sure about what they're doing. Their plan doesn't seem to, it looks like their plan relied mostly on getting Dan Ashworth, and the fact that they're delaying to get him, they don't seem to have a clear plan. But then they're undecided. There looks to be a bit of confusion. Well, unless we are wrong and they shock us, like they shocked us with Omar Berada. But I mean, for me, it doesn't look good on them at all. It doesn't look good at all. It's looking ugly on them because this, for me, is the lowest of lows. Now, I've told you here before that it's not about whether or not Erik Ten Hag should be sacked. Most of us were, 50-50. We know that the biggest problem of the club were the players, the recruitment, and the people that were sacked when Ineos came in. But we also know that Erik Ten Hag himself, as a manager, had weaknesses. He has struggled to give us an identity. He has been maybe a little bit ruthless, but some would say he was setting standards, which he did well. So there was that division. So we are 50-50, sack him or not. But I think as we tended towards the end of the season, most people have been like, you know what, we've sacked enough managers, and maybe we give him one more season and see what he does. I mean, the guy has had a lot of injuries. Even if we do know that his tactics at times were questionable, there was no progress, especially this season. If you back on the first season, there was hope that maybe if all players are fit, if he gets better players with better attitude, we can judge and maybe hope for something better. So we have been there in between. But for me, the timing at which this news has come is what shocks me. That how is the club going to progress if you cannot conceal your news about your manager before the last game of the season and arguably the most important game for the club? Because right now, for me, I feel that the chances, if United had a 30% chance to win, now it's 10 or even 5% after this announcement. And it cannot be, the Guardian cannot come out there, the Athletic as well comes out to quote, in a sort of a confirmatory way when they don't have credible sources. These are the most credible sources now. Now you can talk about Fabrizio, you can talk about David Ornstein, you can talk about these guys, but these are not these are guys who come out when they can be tempted by the club not to come out and confirm it because they know that would cause a whole different problem. But for me, it's bad. It's sad. It's not sad that Erik Ten Hag is gone. Well, it's a bit sad maybe as well, but it's sad that it's coming out. If you look at the bigger picture, it's bad for the Manchester United season. If we had any hope, it is gone. Now, going on to who replaces, I think that's up to INEOS. They know their man. They can probably, we shall know if they can choose to leak the information about him now. Probably after the final, they will be able to come out and tell us who is coming in. But the reality is, and why I don't feel so much for Erik Ten Hag, for me, is because without a shadow of a doubt, Erik Ten Hag, unless he doesn't want, certainly he deserves to take a sabbatical because he will be given his full compensation, millions of pounds, about 15 to 15 million pounds to compensate him for sacking him. But he will definitely get a big club to manage instantly, unless he doesn't. I think he has sold himself well. He hasn't sold himself short at all. I think he has shown how good he can be as a manager. It is clear he had problems. He had a wrong squad to deal with and stuff. But for me, my pity is with the club Manchester United. Yes, we can have a plan to go to Kylian McKenna. That's okay. But the issue is how we are handling things is wrong. We are handling things like kids. We are being immature in how we are handling things. You try and protect this research information as much as you can. If we had to leak such information, it should have happened maybe weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And we would have known the way it was with Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool. End of the season, he will leave. Maybe 3 weeks ago, you say, okay, at the end of the season, he will leave if you had made up your decision. But coming out on the eve of an FA Cup final, where fans are excited, are happy, some are hoping that, if we win it, maybe the guy can stay. Those who don't want him are saying, let's just win this, for us. Then you destroy it. So, meaning we are going to have a Wembley divided. Some anti Ten Hag, some for Ten Hag. There will be emotions when he's walking in. Some people will be looking at him saying, "Oh, poor guy, he's managing, but he has to go." Then that alone will kill the energy of the atmosphere. Meanwhile, Man City supporters are going to jump on that to try and frustrate Manchester United completely. They will make it extremely difficult for Erik Ten Hag. They will make it a very difficult atmosphere for him just because of that. They will just come out there and be chanting perhaps your sacked songs and stuff like that. So it doesn't make sense. It defeats logic why a club like Manchester United would let such news come out on the eve of such an important game, unless they are doing it on purpose to disorganize Erik Ten Hag, have enough reason, proper reason to sack him, because perhaps in his contract it was there that if you win the FA Cup, well, they can't sack you because because I was saying it here somewhere that it could be very difficult to let go of Erik Ten Hag because I mean a guy who in his first season was third and reached a cup final, then won a Carabao Cup. Second season has all these injuries, he's in another cup final, and he could be in Europe if we win the FA Cup. Honestly, how do you sack him if he wins it? So probably it's a tactic to disorganize him and make sure he fails, and they have proper reason to sack him because if he wins, maybe they might be stuck with him or have to compensate him a lot more money to let go of him. But it defeats logic completely, in all honesty. And I feel for the guy, but also for the players, for those who are hoping. And by the way, this information is not even just on Erik Ten Hag. It's probably it's possible that certain players, including Bruno, by the way, might be unsettled at Man United, and this could be their last dance as well. I actually think there is something we are yet to see. There should be something brewing from within that is about to explode and shock the life out of all of us. I can guarantee you this. This is not just going to go away like that. It's not just going to go away like that. There is a rot going on in within there, in Man United, and trust you me, in a matter of time, the stench will be out, will be smelled. We shall smell the stench, and I do hope we can stand it because, trust you me, It's shambles, left, right, and center. What a disgusting and disgraceful happening that has been today. You don't even want to go into the game and talk about it. What's there to dissect when even the manager is lost, is not motivated, is not excited? So what are we dissecting? What are we analyzing? I think we just have got to wait now for the game to happen and hope that we it gets done. I think right now most people feel let it get done because there is no way these players are going to fight and play to win a game of football after what has happened. Wait, this could have waited, but that's where we are. So big disorganization, self-destruction against Man City. They should be, I think they must be sipping on their wine now and enjoying themselves. These Man City guys, they must be saying, this is done. What a mess, by the way. I think we've seen clubs go down. The mighty have always fallen, but wow, how the mighty have fallen when it comes to Man United. I think this is an all-time low. I don't think Arsenal was as low as we are. I don't think Liverpool will go as low as we have. I don't think Chelsea will ever get there. I think this is a low of lows that we have stooped as a club, and I think it will take a complete overhaul. And this is not just selling 27.7% of the club to some petroleum rich guy in the UK. It's a complete overhaul. These Glazers, I think, have got something with them that we cannot even explain. That if we don't let go of them, this club will be proper headed to the dogs. My name is Webb. Subscribe. This is the United Hotspot. Last Dance, Erik Ten Hag. Hope we enjoy it.